Welcome to All Right in Sin City, a podcast about writers and writing in the Windsor-Detroit region. Your podcasters today are
Irene Moore Davis, author, educator, and local historian.
Sarah Jarvis, former bookseller, publishing rep, and literary festival chair.
and me, Kim Conklin, Windsor-based writer and filmmaker.
Today we are joined by Wes Foster, the chair of the BookFest Festival du Livre Windsor organizing committee, as well as the president of Literary Arts Windsor. Welcome, Wes.
Thanks. It's great to be on the show.
So, Wes, I'm aware that BookFest Windsor, Festival du Livre Windsor, is happening in Windsor, Ontario, October 18th and 19th. What's the theme this year?
So the theme is bridging communities, and kind of reference to the nearly finished and now connected Gordie Howe International Bridge. And just like a bridge, it brings people together and removes barriers from access, which is a big part this year. Is that we're trying to focus on intersectionality and bringing people of multiple different identities and also authors of different identities at different intersections together to tell their lives and perspectives through the art of storytelling.
And for some folks in the past, actually getting to the festival in person has been a barrier, although we know that in-person festivals are a lot of fun and very interactive. So how are you addressing that this year?
Right. So this year, we have actually decided to go into a virtual festival. So it's fully online via Zoom. And the pricing will also be a little bit more accessible because we don't have as much costs for in person. So we're actually going to make the tickets less overall. And we're actually doing something a little bit different this year. We're basically making kind of like a festival pass for online, where it's less than a normal festival pass, and it's only the price of what would normally be like a couple tickets. So by doing this, we're hoping that as many people as possible can show up.
That is amazing. So, Wes, in the past, people have been able to come and expect a lot of different things to happen at BookFest. What does the format mean for this year? What can people expect?
Well, so they can expect it to basically be as easy as possible by logging on to their Zoom account or just clicking on the link and it bringing them to the Zoom event on their web browser. And then the whole festival will still be hosted by BookFest. And then we're going to have moderators kind of take over the events, just like normal, just like our in-person events. And then that moderator is going to guide the discussion of panelists who will be the authors that have been selected for the festival. And each event kind of has its own theme that we've created around the theme of bridging communities and intersectionality. Starting off with, we are a little bit shorter this year in terms of the amount of days, but we tried to pack it with as much as possible with kind of little space in between each event, especially because we can do that because there's no room set up or takedown or anything. So it's going to start off on Friday night at 7 p.m. is the main Friday night event, being the Signals Lost, Stories of Identity, Inclusion, and Dystopia, which I'm very excited about because dystopia, true crime, and everything's kind of one of my passions. The next morning, we're starting a little later than usual because we noticed numbers weren't as great for the morning events, especially the virtual ones. So we are starting at 11 o'clock, which is normally our poetry cafe. There will not be coffee this time, so we're also discussing possibly renaming it and kind of branding it a little bit. And then about an hour per event of each event leading up to the final event of the festival, which will be our fully French event, which will be co-hosted and moderated by ACFA WEC of Windsor Essex, our French partner organization.
So, who are the authors that are joining you this year for BookFest Windsor, Festival du Livre Windsor?
So we have a good mix of local authors and talent from all across Canada. They're all recent published within the last year. Our local talent includes, and there have been some posts about this already, but Jade Wallace of Anomia, Michael Melgard of Not That Kind of Place, Saad T. Faruqi the author of White Worlds, and those are all going to be the authors of the first event on Friday because they're all to do with true crime, dystopia, and identity. I'm very excited about. Some other notable highlights are a couple award winners in the French languages, including Fanny Britt, author of Sugaring Off, and Eric Chaucourt. But Eric Chaucourt is also a French novelist and shortlisted for one of the main French literary prizes in Canada. And then we have others who I'm very excited about, like Jules Delorme, author of I Heard the Crow Before I Was Born, Daniel Maluka of Unwashed, another somewhat local, she lives in Chatham now, but I still count those local, Renee Bondi, author of Non-Disclosure. There's a lot more in that. I think there's about 15 or 16 in total, but those are a lot of the main ones I'm going to be advertising very soon on our social media.
Let's go event by event.
Okay, so I already said our Signal Lost Stories of Identity, Crime, and Dystopia, which the authors will be Jade Wallace, author of Anomia, Michael Melgard, author of Not That Kind of Place, Saati Faruqi, author of White World. Then that brings us to our Saturday morning event, which is typically the Poetry Cafe, who will be Jules Delorme, I Heard a Crow Before I Was Born, Daniel Maluka, author of Unwashed, Lindsay Cordon, author of West Indian. And then we're going to have a more locally sourced event, as you can't bridge communities without the bridges going anywhere or having a starting place. So we're going to have some local talent like Peter Rostovic, reading from his new chapbook, Limbo Moon. We're also going to have Marty Gervais, as you know, both of those people are the poet laureates, Peter Rostovic being the current poet laureate at Windsor and Marty Gervais being the poet laureate emeritus. And Marty is going to be reading from his new selected poems, The Sky Above. And then we have an event I'm pretty stoked about called Corner of Church and Elsewhere, which has themes to do with religion, 2S LGBTIQ plus identities, and just being located possibly other places other than Canada or locally. And those authors are Renee Bondi of Non-Disclosure, Daniel Allen Cox, award winner for his book, I Felt the End Before It Came, and Leslie Shimo Takahara, author of Sisters of the Spruce. Then the very last event will be the French event that I mentioned, that we're just naming Festival du Livre Windsor, which will be featuring the authors Fanny Britt, author of Sugaring Off, and Eric Chaucourt, author of What I Know About You.
Excellent. That sounds like a wonderful lineup. Wes, literary festivals have been happening around North America, Turtle Island, and certainly Canada for a while, but there are a lot of people who've never been to a literary festival. So if someone's never attended a literary festival online or in person, why should they be concerned about this? Put it on their calendar and check it out.
Well, my favorite thing about the festival is how we bring different authors from around Canada together, and we really focus on bringing different perspectives. So for me, it's about my eyes and my heart being opened to all these new perspectives, and all of these perspectives are very personal. So whether it's poetry, prose, novels, short stories, even graphic novels sometimes, they all offer a different perspective and a unique perspective that we might not get from our hometown. And every place kind of has their own cultures and their own niches and everything. But it's really about that you don't have to travel to kind of bring a whole new world to you. You don't have to get on a plane or a car or a train. And we're bringing these people and their cultures and their perspectives to you to hear. So for, a low price of what used to be $10 a ticket, you get to see and hear a whole nother world of experiences and get to experience that along with them. Not only that, but you also get to engage. A big part of it and our panels has always been the fact that our moderators asks the panels of authors questions that everyone else might be asking either when they're reading the books or when they're listening. And then there's usually a short Q&A section during each event too, which we will still have online. it'll just be via the Zoom chat function.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Wes?
Well, as of right now, we've had to do some pivoting in terms of accessibility, funding, and everything like that. But I really want to thank the supporters of BookFest Windsor. I want to thank the Literary Arts Windsor Board. I want to thank all of our planning committees, programming committees, volunteers. And whenever I send out an email blast of kind of any kind of pivots we're thinking about, or send out a survey, or and ask for memberships or donations or anything, everyone is very responsive. And I think that's what's very unique to Windsor is how people are not only Windsor grown, but the people who've chosen to stay have chosen to stay for a reason. That people have moved here have chosen to move to Windsor for a reason. And we have a real sense of community that I can say I haven't quite seen anywhere else. So I really just want to put out there that a big thank you to our community and all the support that we've received.
I have to agree with you in so many ways. Windsor is a super generous and united and mutually supportive community, and the literary community here, readers and writers and publishers, so supportive of one another. It really makes this a special place to love literature and live literature. Wesley Foster, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll look forward to learning more about the festival in the weeks to come and looking forward to the festival itself. Have a great day.
Thanks, Irene. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. Look for more episodes of All Right in Sin City wherever you listen to podcasts, or check out our website, allrightinsincity.com. For information and announcements of new podcasts, sign up to our email list or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.